you doing? My name's Harsh, and yesterday I looked very dapper. But now, let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. Because I know that's what you hear. I'm like a dinner lady. That's what I basically am, serving up meat and potatoes to everyone. I am a dinner... Can you get dinner men? Dunno. Anyway, I digress. So, there's apparently new information that has come out on the IDAHO 4 case. And when I say new information, I mean information that nobody listened to the first time round, which is regarding Ethan Chapin and where he was found with respect of this massacre that happened at 1122 King Road. Now, if people really took attention to all of the stuff that was out there, they would have remembered right back early, it was stated that Ethan was found, it would appear, in the doorway to the room. Now, anyone who took notice of the information contained within the 911 video would have heard that, because that's where that information originally come from. I did a video a while ago. You'll probably see it. If you look at it, I think I've done 3 videos in total that touched on the 911 call, but one in particular that sort of went through the potential scenario of what actually happened during the 911 call itself and how Ethan was found, etc. Anyway, what point am I trying to get to all this? Look, the point what I'm trying to get to with all this is the surviving house members. Now, there is speculation that Bethany weren't even at the property that night. Now, what truth is in that? Is it right? Is it wrong? I do not know. But there is a lot of speculation that she was not actually at that property that night. Now, will we ever know truthfully? Probably not. But it makes sense. Because what doesn't make sense is having 2 apparent survivors in the house. One of them, we hear different bits and pieces. We hear she's a witness, she's come forward, she's saying she saw someone, she heard someone, mentioned his eyebrows. But the other one, nothing. And I know I've touched on this multiple times, but when you add that person into the mix, it does overcomplicate things. Because when you rarely take notice, and look, I know that people don't fully take notice to videos, you know, I know because I see the percentage of videos that are watched, and anyone else in this niche will tell you the same. When you do a video, the retention on a video, the percentage that videos are watched are seldom 100%. Not many people will watch from start to finish all the way through without skipping, without fast forwarding a bit because they think they've heard this bit. And that is where things get missed. That's where the meat and potatoes are. What you're basically doing is you're just eating, you're skipping the veg. That's what you're doing. You know, meat and potatoes, but there's veg in there. And the veg is where the goodness is. So stop skipping your veg. All right? Veg is good for you. And that's why we then have information coming up later down the line and people are like, whoa, it's new. It's new. And it's not. You just didn't fucking listen the first time round. And look, what I want to touch on is this. Like I say, when you've got 2 people in that house and you hear like Steve Gonsalves saying there was a hell of a fight, they were putting up a hell of a fight in this place, and you've got statements made by the likes of Dylan Mortensen that she's saying, I heard someone playing with the dog upstairs, and she come out of her room and checked, and that was like multiple times. Well, if you're then hearing that there was a hell of a fight, someone put up a hell of a struggle, you've got where people are found that does not sort of back up this initial push what was made by law enforcement saying that these students were killed while they slept. You know, like it was some sort of stealth ninja that came in and was like offing people while they slept. That's not what happened. And when you truly sort of think of the gravity of what happened in there, it then does bring into question what happened with regards to the 911 call being made, and why was there such a delay again? And all I can put it down to is this, and this is what could potentially bite people in the arse in the future while this goes to trial. Now, people have turned around. I touched on this a couple of videos back, because people, when we mentioned narcotics, people were like, you can't say that. You can't say that. You look at these students who were honour students, etc., and they were definitely not involved in narcotics. This house was not a drug house, despite the rumour mill that it was, and the parties that it had, and the police attending, all of that sort of stuff. But that, you get my point. So I want to show you some things. We're going to have a look at something. And this is this here, right? This is sorority sisters. These are the sorority sister stories. Prepare to be shocked. Okay, so the first one was about that Chattanooga sorority sisters kicked a pledge until her lady parts bled. And, that's not what I want to bring your attention to, but what we're saying is physical violence towards one another, that's something that they do. Sorority sisters were implicated as part of a campus ecstasy ring. So this is the three sisters of Kappa Delta Pi at University of California, Santa Cruz, were arrested in August 2016 after multiple members were implicated in a campus-wide drug ring. The sisters, along with brothers from the school's Lambda Pi Epsilon fraternity, reportedly mailed $100,000 worth of MDMA to their campus homes in an attempt to sell it. So we know that happens. This is something else which we don't need to look at. We've also got this. A WSU Sigma Kappa sold cocaine and got busted. Sierra M. Winsler was a 21-year-old student at Washington State University, a member of the Sigma Kappa sorority, and a coke dealer. An informant, where did we hear that word again? An informant had been providing detectives with information about drug dealers in Pullman, WA. The informant mentioned Windsor's name on the list of low-level dealers, and a sting operation was set up. The informant wore a wire and went to meet up with Windsor to purchase cocaine. She had no idea the informant was bugged and completed the transaction. That came back and bit her right on the arse. We've also got sorority sister was murdered shortly after she was arrested for drug dealing, which I could go into that. But you see the thing what I'm getting at here. 2 California State LA pledges drowned in the ocean. Basically, they were told to walk backwards out to sea and got washed away. So look, sorority sisters were arrested after making pledges eat garbage. Sorority and Morgan may have been behind a sex trafficking ring. And this is just the stuff that we know about. So when I turn around and say there was a delay in the 911 call at that house that night because they needed to get that house in order before it became a crime scene, I think anybody that turns around and says that that's ludicrous, you can't think that, you're victim blaming, you need to wake up and stop being so damn naive. Because this is where we stand right now, and this is the harsh reality of it, okay? And that is, when you look at what we've got, we have got a guy who has been arrested. And look, the guy's innocent until proven guilty, but he could indeed be a monster. He could be. And I'm not saying he's not. What I'm saying is he's innocent until proven guilty, and all we can go on by is what we've seen so far. And that is that multiple people have come forward and said that Brian was an intelligent guy. It was a bit odd, but he was intelligent. Nobody has come forward and said that he was a freak or he tried to lock them in a bathroom and kill them. We've got the girl from Tinder, the swipe left girl, who said that he tried to tickle her. But look, at the end of the day, what he was trying to do was get in her pants. And because of his inexperience with the ladies, he thought that that was probably a way of getting touchy-feely, and it was seeing how she would reciprocate. But look, it's not weird, it's just a little bit inexperienced. I'm surprised he didn't run up to her and kick her in the leg and nuggy her on the head. But look, at the end of the day, nobody's come forward and said anything massively concerning about Brian. He threw himself into education. He helped mark papers. He was approaching law enforcement to help with field DNA work, whatever it was that he was doing. But nothing that shocking. But what we have seen around the others, the victims, sadly, is a very different story. A story that could potentially be surrounding parties that were pissing off the neighbours, potential narcotic use in that house. We've got the parents who themselves seem to be surrounded by nefarious things as well, which you have to tread softly here because people are going to get upset yet again. And we've also got a scenario where another young girl earlier on in the year, under the name of Hannah Claire, she took her own life. They're saying that it was an accident, but there's a lot of people who are saying that she was bullied. And who was she bullied by? That's correct. The victims, at least one of them. So look, on the scales of balance, but look, at the end of the day, these were the victims. They were sadly murdered, and they deserve justice. Whoever did this, they deserve to feel the full force of the law. But houses need to be got in order, because when you look at everything and the things that are coming up and the things that seem to be happening all the time, that could be used by the defence. What was Brian doing there? What was he doing there in the first place? Was this some other reason why he was at that property? And can they prove that he actually went there for something else? Who knows? But there might be curveballs coming. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.